Hey everybody, we are having slight technical issues, shocker, but it's all good in the hood, we like to say. So anyways, we are super excited because today we're going to talk about women in real estate investing. We thought this was a really fitting topic because just last week we spoke at a huge summit event that was for women in real estate. Again, we're not excluding the boys. This is just, we're going to maybe give that extra push to the ladies out there to help them maybe look at something in real estate investing and actually pull the trigger. Right?
Yeah, because one of the stats we had talked about on the summit was that 30% of women, or sorry, out of all real estate investors or people who invest in real estate, it's only 30% female.
Yeah.
Women. And we were like,
it's not enough.
Yeah.
There's lots of women out there that have amazing careers and are doing amazing things. And let's stop handing our money to someone else and start empowering ourselves and doing things with it just by learning some simple things. I think that's a big one with women. A lot of women don't tackle the money situation because it's just so foreign to them. And then all of a sudden they're forced in a corner or forced into a situation where they need to. And then it's like, I'm alone moment, right?
Not knowing what to do. Yeah. So again, whenever you can educate yourself on something, then obviously you're going to feel more comfortable pulling the trigger or deciding which way you might want to lean. Because again, some people want to be active, some people want to be passive. It doesn't really matter. Just start taking your financial future back. That's really the whole message.
It is. It's true. And I think one of the easiest and quickest ways to do that is just learn a little language, right? Understand what a mortgage broker is, understand what a realtor is, understand what a financial planner is and how they operate. And then you can dive into the actual products. What is a syndicate mortgage? What is the hassle-free landlord program? Ding, 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 that's us. And, and all the things, right? And it's not a matter of you need to go to university to learn all this. It's literally just understanding some key phrases that'll help you make decisions, right? So one of the things we talk about are understanding something as simple as, do you see yourself as an active person or a passive person? So when you partake in something, do you see yourself being kind of the recliner type where you're like, yeah, I think I can watch from here? Or tell me more, 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 right? Passive, tell me more, tell me more. Active, okay? So we just want people to really ask some quality questions of themselves. Am I somebody that will go get, like Rochelle and I did, the university degree and then the PhD and all the things? I think I missed a master's, but that's what we did. We just jumped to the PhD. I think it's, yeah, sure, whatever. That's the problem with a dyslexic trying to use acronyms, sorry. Anyways, so, we're not expecting everyone to go out and do that, okay? Some people just need to, honestly, you need to pick up the phone and make some phone calls and just ask some good quality questions. Please explain the parameters of your investments to me. Please explain what would happen if something goes wrong. Please explain, where does my actual money sit throughout this process? Those 3 questions right there will cover off most of your due diligence.
Well, the other question too is, how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's true.
Right? Because that's not something that a personal financial planner is going to come out right and tell you. They might talk about the Murphys and they're only 2.35%. No big deal.
Of what? 2.35% of what?
Right. And then what are the buy-in fees? Are there any selling fees when you get out of it? And what if you switch your investment halfway through because you don't like what you're invested in? Yeah. Are there any costs for that? Because I guarantee you there are going to be fees along the way.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you lose money on an investment? Do they still get paid?
Ooh, they're right there. That's right there. If somebody goes, well, if the investment goes down, yeah, I still have to, do the things and still be involved. So I still get paid. Might want to back away. Just saying. Right. So, that's one of our huge integrity things here at E.P.I.C is we honestly pay all of our investors first and then everything else gets handled. It's true. We're bottom feeders. We love it. It's great. We get whatever's left over. Sometimes it's not a lot. We don't care.
Again, for us, it's volume based, right? So our investors get a double-digit return. They're on title. That is why they get paid first, because without them, we wouldn't even be able to do what we do.
Yeah.
Right. So it's always pay the investors first, pay the staff, contractors, and then pay overhead, and then whatever's left over.
Great.
There we go.
And honestly, the other way to empower yourself is to surround yourself with the right people for the right mindset on how to start asking these questions, how to look outside the box to get the answers, right? I think that's another huge problem a lot of females have is their mindset. We are the biggest creators of our own guilt and shame. No one will ever be harder on us than our own selves. We have all kinds of names for guilt: mom guilt, work guilt, friend guilt, all kinds of, crazy names for that kind of thing. And so we really feel that when people get really heavily weighed down by guilt, it really, really anchors you into what we call and others call a scarcity mindset. Mm-hmm. It's huge. And what are some examples of a scarcity mindset?
Will never be enough, or you're not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It could be even just a self-talk where you don't feel worthy. And so therefore everything you do isn't enough. And it's a kaleidoscope, right? Like it's a colliding effect. It's not great. No. And that's where our minds are so important, because our subconscious beliefs are there all the time. So even if you are, putting yourself in the right situations and you're saying the right things, but if you're not actually absorbing that and starting to change your perception in your head, you could be doing all the work on the surface and it's not going to deep root and it's not going to take effect until you start believing in it, until you start actually living it.
And beliefs can go either way. They're either going to limit you or they're going to empower you. Mm-hmm. And that's completely up to you, right? What are some of the key phrases you tell yourselves? We are so blessed to have each other because we hold each other accountable all the time. There'll be moments all the time, like somebody will say, so if we do that, no. It's not if, it's when. Okay, right there. That's just a super easy example of setting yourself up to fail or setting yourself up to be awesome. And that is really those are really the starting building blocks. Obviously, there's other components and pieces and it builds out, but we only have an hour, right? So we're going to give you the little pieces that we can. So hopefully you can go out there and start looking at all kinds of amazing people that actually do this for a living. And there are so many out there. And we'll maybe name some later, but right now let's focus on a scarcity mindset and abundance.
Even talking about like books. And there's audio books, there's meditations, affirmations, like there's so many things.
The shower. I have a little waterproof Bluetooth speaker, and so Bailey's smiling, and we'll get into her story in a sec. But in my shower, I have this little boombox thing, whatever, it's a Bluetoothy thing, and I go on my phone, and I've literally taken screenshots of all the podcasts I listen to, and my favorite place is in the shower to listen to podcasts. I listen to Ed Milet, I listen to Brendan Burchard, I listen to Rachel Hollis, and it's so awesome. You put that on for 20, and while I'm getting the face on, and because it takes a while, and I have a big head of hair, so that takes longer. And through that whole process, I'm listening, and that is the start. One of the starts of my day. I'm putting that language into me at the beginning of my day, so it changes all my perspectives on everything when I do that. And I can tell the days when I'm like, I'm going to stay in bed and not going to go through the shower and the process. And then my day is completely different. It usually takes hold of me instead of me taking hold of it. So anyways, yeah. So Bailey is funny, but awesome and amazing at the same time. So her shower, it consists of a whole lot of shower crayons, and her best thought processes happen in the shower. She comes up with the most amazing ideas.
But it was so funny because when Bailey first started, she kept saying like, I just get these amazing, amazing thoughts when I am in the shower. And was like, okay, that's what I just wish I could write them down. If I could just capture all my shower thoughts, this would be so amazing, right? And so we ended up finding her shower crayons so that she could literally write her thoughts down on the wall. And apparently it helps. And whatever works, you just got to figure out what works for you. And who cares if other people are like, that's weird? Well, you know what? So are you. Like, we're fine. You know what I mean? Like, you just let people do their thing. You got to figure out what makes sense for you.
Guess what? The weird ones are usually the ones that become high achievers.
We're all a little quirky.
We are.
And so we were joking about that too, because we said, well, maybe at the next office, we'll have to have a shower so that Bailey has thinking time. We'll be like, put Bailey in the shower. We need a brainstorming session. We need some good content, right? So you just got to figure out what works for you.
It's true. And so here are some words to literally, if you've got a pen and paper, now's the time to grab it so you can write this down, because these are some examples of when you can catch yourself in a scarcity mindset versus an abundant mindset, okay? So scarcity mindset, defense. Abundant mindset, offense. Scarcity, maintain. Abundant, create. Escape loss, scarcity. Abundant, pursue vision. We've got scarcity, gifts contained, gifts released. Scarcity, reactive. Abundant, proactive. It's really big. And then scarcity, guard and protect. Okay, this we see all the time talking to people in the investment world.
I'm gonna keep all my things here.
I can't do it right
under
now.
My mattress. It's safe here.
There's a jar. It's
not
buried.
making anything, but it's really safe.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
That's not
No. Abundant, risk, and seize opportunity.
So again, have you ever heard that terminology, higher risk, higher reward? But just because you are taking a higher risk doesn't always have to mean that you're risking more. Because again, if you spend the time to get knowledgeable and do your research, a lot of times you can mitigate your risks and you can still seize the opportunities.
It's true. And then scarcity, stagnation. And then abundant, multiplication, meaning creating more and more, right? Oh, this is a big one too. Scarcity, paralyzed, hold on. And then the abundant, dynamic, let go. How many women need to foster, let go? And we're all guilty of that. Oh, there's that word again that revolves around women, guilt, right? And then scarcity mindset, narrow and closed, meaning you look at things like this, okay? You're either so drowning in negativity or you're unable to look or turn or think of different perspectives, right? Take your hands and do this. Literally, take your hands up to your face, hold them here, look as far as you can, look around. Now take them and then literally do this and then see what you see. That's literally probably one of the easiest physical examples I can give you. Wide and open, abundant mindset. And then here, scarcity mindset, thinks win, lose. Okay, meaning somebody always has to be taken advantage of. Okay, in abundant mindset, win-win. If anyone here has followed us, I'm sure you guys could do a drinking game on how many times Rochelle and I do win-win or say win-win.
I was literally laughing about this because I've had my niece with me for the last 2 days. She's 7. And last night she was telling me that we should do something because it would be a win-win. And I was like, did she say that before she started hanging out with me?
Right?
I remember.
Yeah.
So again, you are who you hang with, right?
It's true.
And these
That's
words, like, you pick up on it.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful of who you are surrounding yourself with, because that negative Nancy, I, again, don't hate Nancy's, but just using that as a little coin term, you got a negative Nancy around you who's telling you all the bad things about all the things and how, COVID's the worst thing that could have ever happened and how, we're all depressed and we're all going to die and everything's going to shit and blah, blah, blah. And there's no point in ever investing in anything again because, everything is never going to work out and all these things, like all of a sudden
I'm about to fall over and get sad and cry right now because you just said all that.
Think about it. So like at the end of the day, if you're hanging around with people that this is their belief system and their language, like, yes, I can see how you're probably gonna want to, just go in the back, lay down for a very long time. Like, it's just, come on, it just doesn't make sense. So yet if you're hanging around with people who are like, okay, pivot and adapt. Okay, I get this is happening right now. This happened. What are we going to do? We're going to hire somebody else. We're going to move into a different direction. We're going to, pivot and scrap that business idea, but let's go move on to the next, or whatever makes sense, right? Like, your investments are tanking. Okay, can you pull the trigger? What can you do to change that? If you are going to be doing a flip, but the flip doesn't really make sense, can you pivot it to a long-term rental? What makes sense? Or vice versa, right? Like, you just got to figure out if something's not working, there's always other options, as long as you're willing to ask those questions and explore that opportunity. But if you're getting stuck in a stagnated mindset where you're like, oh, everything sucks, nothing's going to work out.
That's like you're walking around like this, not this.
Your thoughts become your realities.
Yeah, it's true. Here are two big anchors to think about. Scarcity. One of the biggest anchors for scarcity is fear. Most people get stuck in a scarcity mindset, and especially, again, women, because of fear. All right, I want you to take the word fear, and these are two awesome ways to look at fear. Okay, you can either forget everything and run, which sometimes is necessary, or you can face everything and rise. If you take that word and you train yourself to believe, to face everything and rise, you will look at the world differently. You will be able to tackle more. You will be able to have more confidence in yourself, all those things. In an abundant mindset, the anchor is there will always be more ideas, more ways to problem solve, more money that'll come around, more, anything, right? And I really want people to take that to heart, because if you honestly start monitoring your language and the language of the people that are around you, you will start to see this. And you know what is mind-blowing? The minute you are woke or aware, you can't go back. It'll ping at you. It'll just be like this at you nonstop, going, come on, you see it, you see it, right? And I'm so happy I'm aware and able to shift and do all the things.
Yep. So watch your mindset.
It's true. But, here we go. This is good. All right. So let's look at the two types of way people think. There's emotional. Yeah! Or there's logic and knowledgeable. So there are many, many women who base a lot of decisions on emotion, and to the point that they can't even physically deal with a logical conversation. And there's lots of guys going, yep, I've witnessed it. Again, love you to pieces, all the ladies out there, all the women. But it's sometimes we need to understand who we are so that we can take that and go, wait a sec, am I thinking emotionally? Because I understand that the minute I get more emotional, I start getting like this, right? Right? So then maybe I need to take a breath. Maybe I need to sit back. Sorry, they're emptying the garbage bin. That's making weird sounds. Just saying.
You gotta definitely lubricate those.
Yeah. So, yeah. Where am I? I'm not sure at the moment.
Sorry, we've had the train go by.
Yeah, the dog's barking, and now the lubrication needs to happen. Anywho, the you guys have the papers in the background. Yeah, right. So anyways, emotional to logical. I'm not saying, and you know what's cool? Too much knowledgeable thinking is also bad.
It's a balance.
Okay? It's a balance. You got to try and keep yourself in the middle. And, because sometimes we meet people that are amazing at knowledge, and they ask a question, and they ask more questions. Then they need to ask a question on the question.
And then they get stuck in analysis paralysis, and they never make a decision.
Right.
They just go round and round and round.
It's true. It's true. So all we're trying to do is get you guys to ask yourselves the quality questions, because honestly, as we get numb to doing that as people, and especially women especially, because it's like, I got to get the kids to school, I got to get the supper made, I got to get the things done, I got to get my work done, I got to get, and so sometimes it's really, you get going through all the things and you don't realize it. You honestly, I don't care who you are, everybody has the capability to take 2 minutes, whether you're sitting in your car, whether you're sitting at your kitchen table, whether you're sitting on the edge of your bed, and just go, okay, and do a reflection on your day and be like, what did I actually achieve? Was I the best version of myself? Is there something I could work on? And just reflect. And you'll be surprised, even just doing something like that, the reflection, taking yourself, grounding yourself in that moment, how all of a sudden you start to claw back all that mass chaos, and all of a sudden it starts to be, instead of fireworks going off, it starts to being like a ladder with the rungs and piecing together, still achieving, moving forward, and still getting the heights that you need. Okay. So again, there's so much knowledge out there on these things. Find the person you gravitate to, and honestly, maybe next month we'll list 10 of the people that in our newsletter that we find we love listening to their verbiage to help motivate us.
Well, it's interesting. Even Alan made a comment on here that he loved Brendon Burchard's podcast on my morning walk.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it's morning, having a walk, you're moving your body,
yep,
and you're still working your mind. And that is really important, to have that whole mind, body, soul connection. And then what's interesting is Alyssa loves Brendon Burchard, which is awesome. He has a lot of great content. I cannot listen to his audiobooks.
Yeah.
He's just very, very kind of a little too monotone for me.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We're not all going to be everybody's people or whatever, right? But again, I go back to I love anything by Gary Vee,
right?
Because I love his passion, and I love how he drops his F-bombs like I do. And, I just completely resonate to his language. So it's just really important to figure out who you resonate with and then learn from them. And it's okay to learn from a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really cool podcasts out right
Oh,
now.
it's so awesome. It's almost addicting, the amount of podcasts. I've got Trent Shelton. There's so many. And actually, I'm more than willing to open up my podcasts, and I'll take screenshots, and that can even go out in the newsletter for all I care. You can see all that I'm listening to. Doesn't bother me at all. And I know exactly where Rochelle's coming from. I do once in a while listen to Gary Vee. I just sometimes don't have enough, how do I put it? Oh my God, in me to keep up. So, right? But there are moments when I need some of that because I need to step up, right? So they all have their uses and they all have their values. Like Rochelle said, Brendon has great content. How she knows his content is she read his books, right? So, there's amazing things that we can gain from so many people. And Rochelle and I always say this when we're looking at people. You may not respect that person and how they do things. Or no, you may not like that person and how they do necessarily all the things they do, but you still need to respect the work they've put into getting where they are.
Yeah, to hone their craft.
Yeah. And so, when you kind of look at it that way, it's like, not really my kind of people, but you know what? There might be something there I should pay attention to because there's still nuggets somewhere I want to be. And there's nuggets.
There's going to be nuggets. Everybody has something to offer. Mm-hmm. It just depends on what nuggets you can take away.
And sometimes it's what not to do.
Yeah.
Right? That's okay too.
Yeah.
So back to this kind of emotional over logical / knowledgeable, impulsive, emotional versus logical, knowledgeable decision making. So here's an example, and especially the ladies will relate to this. Oh my gosh, I want those red shoes. I have to have the red shoes. The red shoes are beautiful. right? So that's just an example of emotional. Now, how would this look in a logical, knowledgeable kind of frame of mind? Do I really need those red shoes? I hate to break it to you, but I am the first to step up and go, I am not a fashionista, but I'm pretty sure come next year, there will be another pair of red shoes you will like. There's probably a good chance, right? So again, I'm just trying to point out an example of something we've caught ourselves. And it doesn't have to be shoes, it can be anything, okay? Where it's just like, you're just emotionally charged, but then it's like, okay, whoa. Do I need this? And I'm not saying don't ever reward yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking to, are all your thoughts based on the drama, the emotion? Or can you step back and go, let's just put some empathy in here, or let's put some, just a little different perspective, and let's, just take a quick glance at this and really break it out, okay? That's what we're discussing here, okay? So tools that will help you create financial independence. We kind of touched on some of this. One of the big ones, relationships and networking. Again, you are who you hang with. And I know we sound like broken records, but you sound like broken records because it's funny how you'll say it, and then everybody goes, okay. And then they go and they sit with their coffee row people, which I have nothing against. But if they're all sitting down going, oh my gosh, did you see this today? Did you see that today? How bad is this? How bad is that? And everything's awful. And oh my gosh, and my life is falling apart. And this is falling apart. Well, when you hear that day in and day out, it gets old.
And guess what? Your life keeps falling apart.
Right?
Why? Because that's all you talk about. And why? Because our thoughts become our reality.
Yep. Google manifestation. And then Google things like the laws of attraction. I hate to break it to you. I know this, people cannot gather this concept most of the time in their mind. We are energy. We are made up of energy, okay? I know now I'm getting frou-frou, but give me 30 seconds here, okay? Think about it for 1 minute. If you have a heart attack and your heart stops, what is it that they do to try and bring you back? The paddles of electricity, the energy to snap you back. That is how powerful energy is. It can bring you life, right? But at the same time, if it's negative energy, it will drag you down and suck the life out of you. Period. End of story. Okay? So again, remember, take a step back. Maybe don't be part of the conversations as in, remember God, universe gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth. Take a day, listen when you're hanging out with groups of people, or listen, do less of the talking and see what the conversations are and analyze that and go, wow, didn't realize I was that negative, right? Okay, number 2, make sacrifices. I think this is a huge one these days. We can see example after example after example. Everybody wants the instant gratification now, right? Now, I'm out of school. I should go and I should start up here. What do you mean you want me to shovel a walk or push a mower? Well, first, I want to be able to see if you can show up. I want to see if you have a work ethic. And I want to see if you're going to keep learning and contributing. Okay? There are some things that you have to do by sacrificing. You're only going to gain by sacrificing. Right? Rochelle and I could bleed the company dry. We could go buy boats. We could go buy fancy cars, do all the trips, to Europe and all the things. But no, we committed that we put every penny we can back into this business. People say all the time, how have you guys in 7 years gone from just the 2 of you to 81 team members? That's how we sacrifice. And why am I sacrificing? Why is Rochelle sacrificing? Because we know the end game is we're going to have all these things that we desire. But we didn't get it right off the bat, right? So that's, again, something you have to understand. Make sacrifices, okay? Learn from your failure and mistakes. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got a note?
Yeah, Christine says, I love that you guys are all about energy and positive thoughts.
Oh, thank you. So, learn from failure and mistakes. Oh my gosh, so many people get hung up on the whole concept. Well, what if I fail? What if it goes wrong? What if it doesn't happen? Oh my gosh, if we step back and waited until it was going to be perfect, or until there wasn't going to be a mistake, or that we cowered because we made mistakes, we would have never got
started. Yeah. We literally would have never got started.
Not at
because it would have literally been, well, what if they say no to that offer?
Yeah.
What if we didn't write that offer proper? What if somebody says no to our private lending opportunity?
Yeah.
What if the negotiation on the property isn't what they want? What if you can't live your life with what ifs?
No.
You know, so for us, we were like, let's get as much due diligence and let's get as much knowledge as we can in order to move forward quickly and efficiently, try our best. And, you know, the worst we're going to hear is no.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what I tell everybody. I'm like, so what? It's always worth asking. Again, go back to when you were a little kid. You asked for all the things. Why? Because at that point in time, you thought the sky was the limit. Were you afraid of hearing no? No. If your parents were like, no, okay, fine. Then you would ask for something else.
Or you would ask for that again.
And again, and again, and again, until they cave, right? So again, there's a lot of different ways to get the same result. You just got to figure out what is most energy efficient and what makes the most sense for where you're at.
Yeah.
For us, it really comes down to, you know what, failing, it's just part of the process. If we are failing, well, let's just fail fast and let's fail forward, right? Because at least we're heading in the right direction.
Yep.
Instead of cowering and sliding back and not taking opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, number 4, spend your time wisely. There is one human denominator that makes us all equal. We all are given, if we're given that day, 24 hours in it. That doesn't matter if you are Richard Branson, the billion gazillionaire, down to the homeless person on the street. Each one of us has 24 hours in our day. The change factor there is, what are you doing with your 24 hours in a day? That is what is within your control. Are you getting up at 7:45, trying to get your kids together and all the things in 42 minutes? What happens if you got up at 7:20 instead of 7:45? How does that change things? I don't know. You have to answer that question, right? When you sit down and you're watching TV, okay? I'm not saying don't ever watch TV, but is that the biggest scope of what you're doing all week? Will sitting there watching, do you know the average person in North America watches 4 hours of TV a day? I'm like, how do they even fit that in? Like, I just finished watching a Netflix program that had 3 seasons with 10 episodes roughly a season, and it took me 5 months. So just saying, right? That's the kind of things you need to sit down and look at. Then the other one is, where are things that you could X time? Okay, I will give an example of my life. I do not really like to cook. This is no secret. I do love that when I do cook, my significant other, it's like his world is just complete because I brought, and it doesn't even have to be anything great, but that I made him food and I put it on a plate for him and I handed him the plate. It's like everything is amazing for him, right? So in order for me to bring some joy to that moment, I either put on podcasts and headphones to make it happen, or I got myself a little Google Nest that sits on the countertop in the kitchen, and I can watch YouTube videos of Ed Milet, the people, the things, anything I want to bring some joy to me so I can go through the motions of doing something I really don't like. It's really, honestly, one of my big visions is I literally cannot wait for the day that I have someone doing the cooking and cleaning. not even lying. I am like, that is my big vision, my end goal. I cannot wait. Okay. So that, again, just an example of, there are ways we can also X time so we're being more productive as well. Okay.
And then an interesting exercise is, if you are one of those people who feels like you have big goals, but you're not really getting towards them quickly, or if you feel stuck, what I implore you to do is actually do an inventory for 1 week of how you spend your day.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be too crazy, but
No.
just so you know, I woke up at 7, from 7 to 8, I took this much time getting ready. Then from, 8 to 9, I did a workout. I did this, I did that. I turned on the TV for this time. I did this, or whatever. I slept from this hour to this hour, Went out with friends here. I ended up working from this to this. I worked on my side hustle here, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the week, inventory all of the hours you spent towards whatever activity you did. And it might be interesting because, again, maybe at the end of the week, it'll turn out that you did watch 16 hours of TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you thought about it and said, hey, what if I cut that down to half? Or video games, that's another thing for people, right?
Yeah.
Or surfing the internet, or whatever that might look like. We all have bad habits. So if you could figure out how to cut your bad habits time in half and reallocate those hours consciously towards something that's going to actually actively get you towards your goals, what would that look like if you did that for 1 month? And then again, do a new inventory at the end of 1 month and see if you've made any progress towards your goals or towards whatever it was you were working on. And it doesn't have to be anything financial. It doesn't have to be anything physical. It doesn't have to be anything emotional, spiritual. It could be any or all of the above. But honestly, it could just be spending more quality time with your kids or your family members or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter, right? But
or you realize, hey, wait a sec. I dropped the kids off from school. I got that 20-minute drive home every day, and all I'm doing is listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Oh, put a podcast on, put an educational thing on. I get you have an online course that you can listen to, whatever the case may be, right? Those are the clues that we're trying to get you to pick up.
Or again, the X timing. For me, if I ever hop on a treadmill, I've not been doing that lately, but this used to be a thing. I would only allow myself to watch TV or Netflix when I was on the treadmill. Right? That was a great way to get in, my TV time, but also keep moving my body. Right? So again, where can you overlap things that are not going to harm anything else, and you're actually going to be able to kill two birds with one stone? So that's that X factor.
Yeah. And we kind of covered this. You need to understand what investing is, whether you're active or positive. So again,
passive.
Or what did I say? Positive. Oh, wow.
I mean, it's good to be positive.
It is.
But you don't have to be either or.
No.
You can be active and positive.
It's true. It's true.
Sorry.
I don't know why that popped in like that, but enjoy that.
Alyssa was just on the news or did a news clip earlier today, so she's been on screen time all day today.
Pretty much. And so active and passive in the real estate world just means, are you going to be the one that's doing all the things? So the one that most people understand when you're looking at real estate investing is flipping a house, right? Everybody has seen a flip program where they go in, they renovate the house in half an hour, and it comes out all the pretty, and the homeowner comes in and goes, oh my God, I'm like elevated to the next level. Great. Note, it does not take a half an hour to flip a house. It's just amazing what TV land can do, okay? But in that moment, the people doing all the things to make that happen, that's active, okay? You sitting there watching all the things happen on the show, that's passive, okay? So that's where, if you're gonna invest in real estate, you need to decide, am I gonna be the one that's gonna go out, educate, be doing all the things on the background and the back end, or am I gonna educate just enough so I can comfortably invest in this product and sit back and let my money grow, okay? So those are some things to really, really think about when you're looking at real estate, okay? Is your principal residence an asset or a liability?
Yeah. So this is, I can't remember the thing. Oh yeah. I'm like, what was our topic again? Women investing.
Yeah. So a lot of women don't realize the concept of, purchasing a home, go out there, do it, and realizing that you can turn. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people think they own their own home. They're making their mortgage payments. They're doing all the things. and they think it's an asset. Wrong. Unless you turn it into a liability. Oh, wait a sec. Oh my God. I'm going to stop talking. This one's yours. This one's yours.
Okay. So technically, if your house is not putting money into your pocket, right? And if it's a principal residence that does not have a basement suite or a secondary unit in it, where somebody's paying you to live in your house, or you're renting out spare bedrooms and somebody's paying you to live in your house.
House hacking.
Yep. Or you haven't re-leveraged your property to pull out some equity to get that to work, then therefore you're not making money on your house because it is taking money out of your pocket every month, therefore a liability, as opposed to putting money into your pocket every month. So is your actual principal residence an asset or a liability? Again, you got to look at what your specific situation is. And this is interesting too, because if your current property is an actual liability because it does not put money into your pocket, do you have equity in it?
Mm.
Could you refinance it so that all of a sudden your equity is getting put to work, so it therefore is paying for itself and putting money into your pocket? Or could you suite part of your house? Or would that even be something you'd look into? Or does it make sense to have a roommate or two? Again, some people are like, I would never live like that. Okay, fine. I just asked a question. I don't care, right? Your living and personal way of life does not affect me. It's all good. Just options, right? But at the end of the day, it's your choice. And, I talk to so many people who are like, yeah, I have a house that's completely paid off. And I'm like, oh, and
what are you doing with it?
Yeah, right. And they're like, oh, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I've talked to how many landlords who are like, I have 5 properties all paid off. I'm like, you do realize if you refinance those properties, got more houses, that literally your children's children could be good because of the work you did in this lifetime. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah.
Or if you're like, I'm good, what about all the others you could help? What's there saying that you can't turn around, put an investment into one of your properties by leveraging it and give it all to charity? Who says you can't?
But
right?
That sounds like an abundant mindset.
Oh,
I don't know. That sounds like too much work, right?
Yeah.
Too much work.
What are we thinking here?
Oh
my gosh. I don't know why we're thinking like that.
Jeez.
Yeah. So keep in mind, ask yourself that question. Is where I'm living an asset or a liability? All right, develop a financial vision and great financial future for yourself. Come on, have the dreams, have the things, have the goals, and let others help you get there. Seriously, that is one of the things. Rochelle does this more than I get to, but it is one of the things that we both love. Being able to have that conversation with somebody and go, what are you trying to do? Where do you see yourself? What do you want for your family? What do you want for you? It's just so true, right? I mean, how many times do you have that conversation with people? And
yeah,
it goes to amazing places.
Yeah, because I always say, well, obviously it's usually, are you building for future wealth building, or are you looking for more cash flow in your pocket today? And people always know what they're looking for. I rarely have a conversation where people are like, no, I have all the money that I want, and I booked in a discovery session to feel good. Like, that's not what happens. You know what I mean? People book in a discovery session because they want to talk about their financial goals. They want to talk about what they're working with, and they want to talk about how to smash those future financial goals even faster.
Yep.
Right? So generally people know what they want. They know what they're working with. Usually where the confusion is they just don't know what to do with that. Right? And that's where we step in. And again, at the end of the day, there are other ways that people can invest in real estate. We're not the only people doing this.
That's right.
But we just provide different opportunities than some of the other companies out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our hassle-free landlord program, that's great for people who understand the idea of wanting to invest in residential real estate. They just don't want any of the drama, which is fine. And again, what our investors get from there is certainty. Mm-hmm. They're going to earn a 15% annual rate of return on their investment dollars. And at the end of the day, we get written in for some of the profit. Anything above that, we would get. If the house goes, as a complete lemon and it makes zero money, well, that's our problem, not theirs. And we will just take, profit from another deal to pay for it. It's a leveraging game. It's a volume-based game. For us, that's an us problem, not a them problem. We're all good with it. And so for some people, I might have a call with them and they're like, but wait, I get the cash flow and you keep the principal pay down. Well, I don't want to share. I'm like, okay, well, go invest somewhere else. Take all the risk.
Take off.
Take all the risk. Get all of the potential reward and have fun, right? Those aren't our people, and that's okay. But again, for people who are a best fit for us. They're people who want certainty in their lives. They understand the idea of investing in real estate, and they're just really so busy leading their best lives, whatever that looks like, that they're like, yeah, I love the idea of win-win. I love the idea that we go into a partnership together and that we both benefit. And those are our people.
Yep, it's true. So an example of the difference between kind of having a vision and being clear on your vision would be, I want to retire early. Okay, it's a good vision. How about this though? I want to retire by the time I'm 45. See the difference in the two? One is direct. One is something you can completely follow and aim for. The other one is like, I'm kind of going in this direction.
Because effectively, retiring at 55 would be early,
yeah.
wouldn't it? I mean, most people retire at 60 if they do get to retire, right? So all of a sudden, that's a 10-year difference in 45 to 55, right? So if you really dial in and you put a game plan together, so how are you going to retire by 45? How much money do you need to make every single year? How much passive money do you have to make every single year in order to make that happen? You generally have to replace your income with something if you want to just not have to work ever again, right? How are you going to make that happen? Start with the goal, but then break it down into small chunks and then make it happen.
Sure. So what is your why? So this kind of can correlate to a little bit of your vision to some degree. Sometimes that is people's why. I have children. I want to be able to pay for their education and give them some things that maybe I didn't have when I started out. Okay. So, you know, whys are something that you have to figure out. Okay. And we kind of discuss it this way when we talk about whys. We always say the difference between a why and a goal is a why is an emotional moment that will push you through doing all the gritty things to keep you going. And a goal is what's ahead of you that is pulling you through all the gritty things to finish and keep going. All right. So sometimes that helps people figure out which is which, because a lot of people will interchange goals and whys and that kind of thing. So just something to keep in mind. We can't answer what your why is. Okay. You have to define it. All right. All right. Here's just for some of you that are a little more off on the knowledgeable / analytical side. If you really wanted a system, you can look up this formula. It's called SMART goals. S.M.A.R.T. And it stands for specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time bound. So that example we gave you of a vision of I want to retire early, well, that first phrase is lacking some of these things. Then when you say I want to retire by the time I am 45, it's specific, it's measurable, it's actionable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, so there's a tool that you could definitely utilize for helping you achieve things. Write that out, and maybe it'll help you define some of your goals and some of the things you need to be doing.
Well, and even if you do set a goal, use it against the SMART definitions.
Yeah.
Right? Is it specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time bound? If it is too vague and it doesn't hit all of those, then go back to the drawing board and make it.
You want to just type that into the chat for the people, and then that way, if they're like me and they can't spell and they're stuck on word 3, they'll.
And you can Google that. Yeah. That's everywhere.
It is.
Like
it's just a great tool. It really is for self-checking. That's all it is.
Yeah, goal setting 101. So next Epic Hour is going to be Wednesday, August 26th at 3 p.m. Sask time.
Yep. So that's 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific.
There you go.
No.
We have a question.
Okay.
Oh.
Kathy is wondering if we recommend setting up a company for tax purposes on your 15% returns.
That would be why calling us for a discovery session. It would be an amazing feat to ask all those things, and we're going to tell you exactly either where to go to get that answer or what we can give you for answers. Okay, that's why it's so important just to reach out if you have questions about our programs, because we're not going to dive into the nitty gritty of hassle-free and fun to flip on here. There's whole other hour-long videos. Go to our website, all the things. And if you have specific questions like that, honestly, our information is everywhere. Just call and we'll answer those questions.
Totally. And then what is our next Epic Hour topic going to be?
Investing in an investment business. Ooh. So there'll be some tidbits on business. People, come on out.
And then somebody said something else.
Vita says, oh, can I get a recording of this video? I missed most of it because I forgot about the time change.
The answer is yes, there is a recording and they are located on our website.
We email them out.
We also email them out. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I think they're on Facebook Live too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
we're on Facebook too.
Streaming on Facebook.
Yeah. It's there somewhere.
So they can rewatch the live recording on Facebook, or you can send us a message with your email and we'll email you directly.
There you go.
Cool.
And we're working on putting these recordings on our website.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the things are slowly happening.
We can tour the office. Okay.
Oh, are we doing that?
Unless you don't want to.
We've done that, haven't we?
I thought so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Office hasn't really changed, so we don't really have to. Where do you
Some of our
want to go?
employees have changed. I don't know
Sure.
if you want to go bring them around. How much time do we have?
5 minutes?
Go
Okay.
introduce them.
Sure.
Introduce
We'll go
some
see
of
who
the
we can
staff.
corner and find out who's there.
You can say hi to Zena. Our little
Yeah.
padre.
So there is Anna. Hello. Thumbs up. So that's our youngest employee. Please don't. Please don't call us in on that because she's only 7.
To be fair, she only gets paid in Slurpees. So.
Yeah, that's even worse. Now I have more paperwork to do. So obviously you've met Mark, you've met Ashley, the Bailey who's following me around from behind. That's the funny. All right, so let's go downstairs because I don't think these guys get enough attention. So let's give them a hard time. We're going down, we had to expand into the basement of our building because we ran out of room, people. Do you know what that means? We ran out of room. Hey, Nordy, say hi to all the people out there in Facebook land and all the things. So, yeah, and whatever else we're doing, I don't know. They know. But we have Nordy is here and doing our utilities while our lovely Debbie is off on parental leave. Okay? So thanks for doing all the things. And this is one of our temporaries right now. Yasmin, right? There, look at me go, right? 81 of them. It's like having 81 children. I have to remember all their names. So, and you've been here, what, a week? 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Holy smokes, time flies when you're having fun. So thank you very much. So she is doing basically data entry for accounting and payables, correct? There you go. All right, thanks for all that. So we're down here. I don't think Lisa's here. No, Lisa's not here. This is, look at where we shove our Airbnb supervisor. Look what she did with this space. Isn't this amazing? She's so creative, right? She's like, I just wanted a space and I don't care that it's in the basement. I'm like, you're our kind of people. Let's see who we can corner upstairs and so that's okay. We'll head up here and find all the people. The word's gotten out. I'm probably on the computer and doing this, and so they're all hiding now. What do we got? Who's hiding in here? Hey guys, how's it going? Say hi to TV land. We got Peter and Chris hiding in the corner there. This is Peter is one of our PIs. Well, so is Chris, but Chris actually does the smoke detector checks, and Peter does the checks on the vacant houses for us. So there you go. This is our key room. Look at the keys. Hey, Melissa, say hi. This is one of our cleaners. I don't know if anybody's in here. We'll see if there's anybody in here. Shauna's hiding, and we are coming to find you. We're doing a tour of the office, so say hi. Hi. This is our office manager, and she's amazing. I'll just say amazing. And does, how you guys get paid magically? This is Shauna. Shauna does the amazing, making you get paid amazingly on the first. So there you go. We're just, killing it in the office here. Oh my gosh. Amberine.
Ryan brought this
Ryan?
for Amberine. Yes.
Oh, look at that. That is what are they called? Okay, my Indian food is so weak, but they're like chickpea things, and they're really good.
Mint chutney.
And mint chutney. Oh, I'm hungry already. Thanks.
Thank you.
So now we get to follow you.
This is our printer.
Look at that thing. Do you know how much these things cost? For those of you out there that don't know, you can buy a car for what these cost. It's crazy. I'm telling you, crazy. That's okay. And this office is empty because everybody's in the boardroom. Is Linda there? Linda.
Linda
And
Ryan.
Look at that. Hey, guys. Oh, there it is. We were following our noses to the Indian food that's there. Holy. You made all this?
No. Oh, I wish I could say I made all
Oh,
of it.
okay.
We ran out to one of the local restaurants. And,
Which one?
we went to the Kashmir up on Broadway. I quickly
Oh,
went by there,
okay.
picked up some food, and
Nice.
came back. We've got one of my favorite potato dishes, Louisiana, and we've got some shahi paneer.
I'm not going to try to say that. Thank you for doing it. Right? So these guys are the forerunners for our property care specialist team. So yay! We're just doing a little office tour at the end of our epic hour here. And
Awesome.
yeah, we can smell that. That smells amazing. And we also like going, our last meeting we had for our managers out for lunch was at the Swadesh on 22nd. So apparently we like Indian food around here. Just saying. Yes, bring on the naan bread. There we go. Oh, are we gonna go in here? Sure, we can interrupt them.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you know, we're just on film here. Say hi, I'm Breen and Ben. How's it going? We are interrupting. This is a brain trust session here, and Breen is like all the things. What's your title now? Did you figure it out? Still working on it?
Corporate system manager.
There you go, corporate system manager. Doesn't that sound growing up? Amazing, right? Ben is tell me about your 30-second plug.
Perfect. I'm Nomad Creative Strategies, and we are a managed business solution provider. So we help with digital corporate strategy transformation, and we help and create all those processes and get people up and running.
He helps us organize our shit. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Oh, everybody needs to know about Bob. Yes. Okay. For people that have followed us on Facebook, this is Bob. Bob is one of the deer I have shot. For those that don't know, I love animals in all forms, but I also love eating animals. So I'm an avid hunter and all the things. So yeah, there we go. And what? And he has an eye camera. That's a story for another day. And our little kitchen. That's it. Oh, out there's the yard. All right, so we'll head to the boardroom so we can whoa, now I'm gonna try to slow down when I walk with these. I see how motion sickness can definitely play a part in this. We will sign off right away here. Is Rochelle still here? All right, Miss Rochelle, we just need to say the thing.
Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. In the meantime,
Stay epic.